Today I'm going to explain the movie called The Last House on the Left from 2009, and I hope you enjoy it. This movie is about some gangsters, and two girls fell into the hands of these gangsters. And then what happened to them? To know the rest, watch the full video. At the beginning of the movie, we saw two police officers. They were driving with a criminal named Krug in their car, but then another car came and hit their car. As a result, both of the police officers were so injured. And then two people came down from that car. One of them was Frank, and the other was Sadie. They were Krug's friends. Actually, they came here to free Krug. And then they killed those two police officers and ran away from there. On the other hand, we saw another girl. Her name was Mari. She was traveling to a house with her mom, Emma, and her dad, John, for a family vacation. Then we found out that she had a brother. His name was Ben, but now he is dead. Mari wore her brother's locket. Mari told her mom, Emma, that she was going to her friend's general store, and she will be back by evening. Emma told her not to go there, but John gave her permission to go there, and then gave her the car keys. And then Mari went to her friend's general store. Her name was Paige. A guy was spying on them and listening to them. And after some time, he came in front of them and asked for a pack of cigarettes. But Paige told him to show him his ID first. You'll get the pack of cigarettes only if you're older than 18. The guy told them his name was Justin and said, I know you guys are looking for cannabis. Cannabis is a kind of drug, and Paige agreed with him. But then Justin told them he left the cannabis in his motel. So Paige, Justin, and Mari went to the motel in Mari's car. Justin and Paige went inside Justin's motel to get some cannabis. Mari was waiting in her car, but they were taking so long, and that's why Mari was thinking of going in to check. And when she was about to enter the motel, we saw a newspaper cutting. In that newspaper cutting, we saw news about the murder of Krug. And Krug is the guy who killed those two police officers with the help of his two friends. Then when Mari entered the motel, she saw that Justin and Paige were smoking cannabis. Paige asked her to join them, but Mari said, no, I don't do this anymore. But still, Paige asked her to have a sip. As a result, Mari also started smoking with them. And then they started talking to each other, and Justin became their friend. Then Mari asked him about his family. Justin told her he has his father and an uncle, but we never lived in a city together, and that's why we always change our houses. Then Mari asked him about his mom, but Justin told her his mom died a few days ago. Mari became so sad after hearing this, because her brother Ben was also dead. They were having so much fun, but then those three people came into their motel who killed those two police officers at the beginning. Krug is Justin's father, and Frank is his uncle. Krug became so angry after seeing Justin with Paige, and he started cursing his son. Krug told him, the police are after me, and you're having fun here? Frank and Sadie grabbed Paige and Mari, but then Mari said, we will never tell anyone about you. But still, Krug didn't let them go. Paige tried to run away from there and tried to make a call, but Frank caught her and beat the shit out of her, and then broke her phone and Mari's phone. And then Mari asked Justin for help, but Justin had nothing to do. Then Krug, Frank, and Sadie decided to take them somewhere else. Mari noticed that they were going through the road of their lake house, and then Mari stabbed in Sadie's head and they crashed. As a result, Frank's nose got broken. Paige was trying to run away from there, and Frank and Sadie went after her. And then Paige went to an industry and screamed for help. But then Frank and Sadie came there and brought her back. Krug killed Paige with a knife, and he pulled off Mari's clothes and asked his son Justin to rape her. Justin refused to rape her, but Justin's dad did it. And then Mari hit Krug with a rock and ran away from there. Krug, Frank, and Mari went after her, but Mari dove into the lake and started swimming. She went too far away from them, but Krug tried to kill her with his gun. He missed all of his shots. But when Mari was near the shore, then a bullet hit her body and she died there. Then Krug, John, and Sadie came back to Justin. Since Frank's nose was broken and it was raining, they came to the lake house nearby. It was the lake house of Emma and John, which means it was Mari's mom and dad's lake house. But they didn't know that this was the lake house of Mari's parents. That's why they asked Emma and John for help. John and Emma let them get inside. Then John fixed Frank's nose and put a bandage on it. Emma gave them coffee and told them to pass the night in their guest house, because it was raining outside and they had no car with them. Justin noticed the fridge after he finished his coffee. He saw that there was a photo of Mari on the fridge, and Justin realized that Mari was the daughter of Emma and John. He felt so sad about the fact that if he hadn't taken them to his motel, they would have still been alive. Actually, Justin was a good guy, and he never liked to stay with his dad and uncle. Then Justin put the locket of Mari on the kitchen to fix the mistake that his dad and uncle made. On the other hand, we saw that Mari was still alive. And then Krug, Justin, Frank, and Sadie went to the guest house and fell asleep. But Justin could not sleep. On the other hand, Emma found the locket of Mari. Then she told John that when Mari went out with the car, she was wearing this locket. And I just found it in our kitchen. And I think Justin put it there, which means they killed their daughter. Then Emma and John heard something outside, and when they came out, they saw Mari. Mari was so injured, and she was dying. Emma was so scared, and then John took her inside and started giving her first aid. Mari was getting well. Then John realized Mari was raped. He got so angry at those people. Then John asked her for the key to the boat. Emma was looking for the key, and John was thinking about putting the boat into the lake. When Emma was searching for the key, Frank came there and said he could not sleep. Emma was trying to attract him toward her so that he won't go to the drawing room, because Emma was in the drawing room. But still, Frank went to the drawing room and saw that Mari was still alive. Then Emma hit his head with a glass bottle. Frank also tried to hit her back, but then John came there and cut off his hand to help Emma. Emma hit his head with a hammer, and Frank died there. Emma was disgusted by the dead body of Frank, but John managed her. When John was going toward the guest house, he saw that Justin was still awake, and he had a gun in his hand. But he didn't do anything to them. Rather, he gave them the gun. But then Sadie woke up and started screaming after seeing the gun in John's hand. John shot at her, but he missed the shot, and then Sadie hid in the bathroom. Krug woke up and ran towards John's house. Only Sadie was alive in the guest house, but Emma and John killed her. On the other hand, Krug went to the house and found the dead body of his brother, Frank. Krug didn't understand why Emma and John killed his brother, and why they wanted to kill him as well. When John came there, Krug asked him why he killed his brother, and Krug said maybe one of them was your daughter. I have had so much fun with them. Then Krug looked outside through the window and saw Mari on the boat, and understood their plan. But then John came there and they started fighting with each other. After fighting for so long, John was losing, and Krug tried to make him unconscious. Krug was telling him everything that he did with Mari. John became so mad at him, but then Justin came there and pointed the gun on his father's head. Krug took the gun from him and started beating him, but then Emma came there to help. Emma started hitting Krug, and then John also came there, and both of them beat him so badly, and Krug fainted. Finally, they were able to get away from there with Justin and their daughter Mari. On the other hand, we saw that John paralyzed the body of Krug. When Krug woke up, he realized that his body was paralyzed, and he asked John, "What did you do to my body?" Then John told him, "I did nothing to you. Everything will be fine very soon." And then John put his body in an oven and turned it on. And just like that, John took revenge on him. And the movie ends here.